Welcome to toy-polloi.
Hello and welcome to another video from toy-polloi. Now today we're going to take a look at bootleg figures, specifically Mexican bootleg figures. In front of me here I have a selection of bootleg figures which have kindly been sent to toy-polloi by Christian Sorensen from the US. These are a very kind donation and I'm really pleased to have them. I've often seen bootleg figures and thought they were something I would like to see in the flesh, and now I have. I really quite like them. They're horrid, they're badly made, but there's a strange quality about them that I quite like. So let's take a look at these and I will compare them to the original figures and you can see exactly how bad these bootlegs are. First up, we'll take a look at one of the better ones. Now, Klaatu here is, I would say, one of the better of these bootlegs. Now, these are what I would call a sort of limited articulation figures. Now, they've basically cast the body, legs and head in one piece, and the arms are separately attached. So they do have a little bit of articulation. You can actually pop these arms off. They're fairly easy to do it. And they actually work the other way around to sort of original Star Wars figures. The original Star Wars figures have a peg on the arm, which is inside the body. These obviously have a peg on the body which pushes into the arm, so a fairly simple construction. Now this figure isn't too bad compared to the others. If we take a look at the original Klaatu, you can see here they've done a reasonable job. I'm going to say a reasonable job on painting it. It's at least the correct colours, almost, and it doesn't look too bad, but it is a very cheaply produced figure. This is sort of made out of a hardish vinyl plastic. The paint is in sort of done in such a way that it flakes off quite easily. But this one is probably the best of the bunch. Let's have a look at some of the others and you can see how bad they get. My particular favourite is the Gamorrean Guard. Now I'm really not quite sure what this was even based on, because it comes in the same line but it's not based on the original Gamorrean Guard figure. If we have a look here you can see that's an original one, looks nothing like it, but it's just, I don't know, it's really weird, but I do quite like the fact that it is so weird. Another of the really weird ones is Chewbacca. This guy is supposedly Chewbacca. He's got a sort of black beard and a red bandola over his arm, but let's compare it to an original Chewbacca. Nothing like it. So I'm not really sure what that was based on, but it's strangely nice. And this one has no articulation whatsoever, it's just a cast figure. All of the figures are made in roughly the same way. There's only a few exceptions, like if we have a look here at Admiral Akbar, you can see this guy has the same articulation, a very strange sort of silver paint job on him, but his weapon is actually attached to his body there. I'm assuming that the idea is that you break that off and then you can use it as a weapon. And the reason I say that is because if we look at Yoda, you can see that Yoda has the same thing. He's got his cane and the snake attached there. But Yoda, again, bits of him are based on the original Yoda, but then the main body, I'm not quite sure what that is, because it's got a little ring on its head. It looks like it's supposed to be from a key ring, so no idea where that one came from. The Emperor's Royal Guard is another sort of classic, because this isn't too bad. It's clearly the figure from the film, because if you take the cape off an original Emperor's Royal Guard, you'll see that's what's underneath. So without the cape, it's actually quite a nice figure. And this one is just cast in red plastic. C-3PO is actually pretty reasonable as well. I say pretty reasonable. These are really cheap molds, and I'm sort of only saying pretty reasonable in the fact that it actually does look quite like C-3PO. The mould is pretty good. It's painted in silver and it's got some sort of scary red eyes, but does actually look like him, so that's a bonus. If you compare it to someone like the Emperor, I do keep knocking them over. They are terrible. They just don't want to stand up. If you look at the Emperor though, you can see, not really sure what that is. The paint's worn off and it's so badly applied that it just really looks like quite a mess. And as far as the funkiest figure goes, that has to go to Logray, because they've gone to quite a lot of effort to paint the stripes on, which is unusual compared to the other figures. But then look at his hat. It's got some sort of silver paint job finish on it, which is just makes him look a little bit crazy. Another figure that looks excellent. I'm strangely attracted to this one. It just looks the business to me. I'm not sure if you can see this, but while I've been filming, this is the amount of paint that is flaking off these figures. The paint is very poorly applied, and every time you touch it, it falls off. My hands are actually covered in flakes of paint. So these sorts of things are not really designed to be handled that much. Once I've finished recording this video, I'm going to put them on display and never touch them again, because it just keeps falling off every time you touch them. Although these are not official figures, because they were made sort of around the same time as the movies, they do have a certain quality to them that makes them quite collectible. And I think there are people out there who just specifically collect bootleg figures. These are some of the sort of worst quality bootlegs I've seen. There are some much better ones out there, but I think if you're going to collect bootlegs, the worse the bootleg, probably the better it is to add to your collection, because it really shows how poor quality things are that get made and how poor quality these fake things are. So really, it's the sort of thing that I can see myself trying to get a few more of. Now that I've got this sort of early selection, I think I might try and complete the set. There's definitely more figures out there than I have. So I hope this video has been of interest to you. Really, they are quite awful figures, but they are quite likeable. So it's probably worth collecting them. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching toy-polloi. Subscribe for more great videos. You can also follow toy-polloi on Twitter and Facebook.